Hello, this is Minisode 24, and today we're talking about elements. Harry looks very excited.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about roller coaster elements, which I don't know the definition of.
What do you mean you don't know the definition of?
What does it count? What makes something an element, though?
It's a good question. Don't know. I think the choice of that is down to whoever designed that specific element.
No, but like, say what you mean. So when someone designs a roller coaster and makes up like the path it's going to take, they go, oh, this is an element.
Yeah, they can go, oh, this is new, it's never been seen before, so I'm going to call that a 270-degree double inverting corner stall, for example.
But
becomes an element.
But doesn't it have to meet some kind of requirement, like goes upside down or flips or something?
Don't know. There's no...
Because you can't just be like a left turn and be like, that's an element.
No, obviously not. Well, you probably could, but...
So is a left turn an element?
Well, it's an element of a ride, but it's a very standard one, right?
Okay.
There's no real clear-cut definition for this. Most people, when they refer to elements, are referring to the major kind of elements, and a lot of those are inversions, because you can be most creative with inversions.
Right.
But there's elements that aren't inversions, so overback turns.
All inversions are elements, but not all elements are inversions.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about a lift hill? Is that an element?
Sure, why not? I guess it's an element of a roller coaster, right?
What about a block break? Is that an element?
I think everything's an element, but not.
Oh, that's less exciting than I thought.
In the standard, like what most people would classify an element, they wouldn't classify the main bits of a roller coaster as an element. So not the lift hill, not any straight piece of track, not a normal left or right hand turn.
So they mean like the exciting bits?
Yeah, the exciting bits.
Okay, so
now you know what it is.
I thought it'd be funny if you explained to me like the main elements, because I know the terms that people use, like a barrel roll and a banana something or other.
Banana roll.
Yeah.
Go on, keep going.
And a corkscrew.
Yeah.
And
you've got to be able to think of more than just that. There's some really classic ones that you haven't got yet. Corkscrew, classic. What else? What goes with a corkscrew?
A loop.
A loop, of course.
A loop.
You've got some other ones. You've got some other quite classic ones. Don't think inversions. Think more.
Helix.
Helix. Yeah, there you go. Helix.
So I know what a helix is. That's where you go down or up.
Or up.
In a circle. A loop is like literally a loop. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Corkscrew is like what you have on Colossus, where you do a tight spin.
Yeah.
But carry on travelling forward. What's the other ones I said? I don't know what a banana roll is.
It looks like a banana from the side. It's like a banana shape. You kind of go up one side. So imagine a banana side on. You got that curve.
Okay.
You go up one side, and as you get to the top, you kind of flip around. So you go up, you tilt, so you're now facing inwards to the banana.
Okay.
So you're not now.
Oh, okay.
You're not on the so you tilt facing inwards.
Yeah.
Then you complete. Imagine half a very tight loop, half of the top a very very tight loop.
Yeah.
You tilt back so you're facing the outside of the banana, and then go back down again.
Okay.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
It's that.
Okay. Are they rare?
Yeah, there's like two of them.
Have I been on one?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I say two of them because there's allegedly three, but one of them doesn't really count because it's a stupid banana roll.
What rides are they on then?
Takabisha at Fuji-Q Highland, then the Takabisha clone in America, and then Steel Curtain apparently has one, but it's not really one.
Okay.
Because a normal banana roll is one inversion.
Right.
Whereas the one on Steel Curtain is two. So
Okay.
it's not a real banana roll. And this gets into the whole thing of the person or company who made that inversion really gets to define what it is. So, and that's what happens, right? So Gerstlauer are the first two who manufactured Takabisha and its clone. They were the one who came up with the banana roll, called it a banana roll. And then S&S said, this is a banana roll, even though it has twice the amount of inversions and doesn't look so much like a banana roll. But that's their banana roll, you could say.
Banana roll Mark II.
Yeah, but they're slightly different.
When did banana rolls get invented then? Are they new?
Whenever Takabisha opened in like 2009, I want to say. That's
So they're just
no,
not
that's
very
wrong.
popular. That they haven't been put in a lot of other rides since.
2011, not 9. I don't think it's difficult to say because they're very tight inversions.
Right.
So often, to get a proper banana roll, you need a very small train, which is why it's on a Eurofighter. It's on a saw, basically.
Right, so it's not really possible for a lot of things.
No. Whereas the one on Steel Curtain is very big and very wide because it's got a long train.
Right.
Whereas the one on Takabishi is very tight and very thin.
Okay, let's go back to naming
And
them.
then you said barrel roll.
Barrel roll, absolutely no idea.
Have a guess.
Is it where you literally just do a roll, like one roll?
Pretty much. Again, this is the point where you get confusion and no one really knows what's being said.
So like when you leave the smiler
Yes.
and you go upside down once,
Yes.
is that a barrel roll or a corkscrew?
The definition of that I know, right,
Okay.
is, and a barrel roll is kind of like, so there's a thing called an inline twist,
Right, I've heard of this.
right, which is when the track stays in line. So imagine a straight piece of track that you now rotate and twist so that it does a 360-degree rotation, but it's still
straight
in a straight line.
Okay, so it's a very long
spin, but the track is
straight.
completely straight.
Okay.
So the train spins around the track.
Right. So not
imagine
like so like imagine if you got a corkscrew off of Colossus but stretched it out.
The corkscrew, the bit at the end of Colossus,
Is one.
no, that's a Heartline Roll because it's the opposite, right?
God.
If you think about it, on Colossus, the train spins.
Why is this so
The
confusing?
center of the train spins, doesn't it? Because you're in the middle of that spiral the entire time.
Right.
So the track is spinning on the outside, whereas on the inline twist, the trains are spinning on the outside and the track spins on the inside.
So it depends if you go clockwise or anti-clockwise.
No. I don't know where you got that from.
What?
Okay.
Okay, do it again.
Heartline Roll.
Okay.
It's called a Heartline Roll because it's aligned to your heart. So the center of riders
So the track
becomes the center of rotation.
The track is outside of you.
Yes.
And you're in the middle of the circle.
Yes, and the center of your body is roughly where the rotation
right,
occurs.
so it could spin either way. But it's the way the track's been laid out.
Yes,
Okay.
but then on an inline twist,
the track is the center of the circle.
The track is the center of the circle.
Okay.
So inline twist is the swarm.
Twist and Heartline Roll.
The swarm has an inline twist at the end when you do that rotation.
Yeah.
Because you're not obviously in the middle of that rotation, are you? You're
Right.
completely on the outside.
Yeah.
And getting flipped. Whereas on Colossus, you're in the middle. You can see down all of the inversions.
So then
and the barrel roll.
The barrel roll.
It's difficult because there's no real kind of, as far as I know, there's no real definition. What I take a barrel roll to be is kind of like a Heartline Roll that goes up or down. Yeah.
What do you mean up or down?
Literally up or down.
You mean
Elevation.
instead of being like flat to the ground,
it goes up
you
or
go
down.
up. What?
Yeah.
Why does that need a whole different name though?
It doesn't. The barrel roll is kind of, it's different, right? You've got the Heartline Roll, but the difference between a Heartline Roll and an inline twist isn't just black and white, because some rides feature rolls that aren't perfectly straight in lines, but aren't centered around the riders either, so they're kind of in the middle.
Right.
And that's kind of what a barrel roll is. It's just completely anything in between.
So it's a roll where they don't really know what it is.
Yeah, but usually they go up or down.
That's weird. Why is there like 5 different rolls that are basically the same thing?
Well, this is it, because each company gets to decide their own thing.
That's silly.
So the Smiler has a Heartline Roll in the building.
Okay.
Because you are the center.
You're in the middle of the circle.
Yeah.
Okay, what else is there then?
So one of the big ones is a Cobra Roll.
Cobra Roll, yeah.
Any idea what that does?
Is that the one where you go... I don't know how to describe this. I can see it in my mind.
Yeah, draw it out for me
so
and then I'll try and...
you go up,
Mm-hmm.
you twist, you go like back over and along in a line, and then you twist again and go back down the other way.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you do a half loop.
Right.
So half a loop.
Yeah.
So you're at the top.
Yeah.
Then you do the second half of a corkscrew.
Yeah. To twist round.
Then the first half of a corkscrew.
Yeah.
And
to
the
go
second
back.
half of the loop.
So
Cobra
this
Roll.
is the one where you go back the same way you just came in.
Yes.
But then isn't there another one where you go the opposite way out?
Yes.
What's that?
A sea serpent roll.
Oh, what?
So it's the same again. So half loop, second half of a corkscrew, then it goes kind of like first half of a corkscrew, but so I should have said that the Cobra Roll, as you said, you go in and come out the opposite directions. That's what I should have said, right? So
wait, so I got it wrong?
Yeah, sorry. You go in and you come out the opposite way.
Right. So then the one I was thinking of is the sea
Serpent Roll.
Okay, where you come in the same way and go out the same way.
Yes, and that's on the Smiler. So that one feels more like a constant rotation.
Yeah.
Because you're just constantly rotating through this element.
Yeah.
And that's, you basically take a Cobra Roll and flip the second half.
Yeah, like a symmetrical version of it.
So that's quite a rare element, only on like 3, 4, 5 coasters.
Okay.
Cobra Rolls are on loads of coasters.
Right.
But they're boring as hell. I don't get why. They're not very good.
Is it like a basic one?
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the first ones done, just because it takes a loop and a corkscrew that kind of like the two core inversions and just mash them together.
Right.
Whereas Serpent Roll flows much better, feels much better, and it looks better.
I like that one a lot.
So there's that one. There's a Batwing.
Who?
A Batwing.
Okay.
Which is okay.
Oh god. Okay. Right.
So this one, you come in and go out opposite directions.
Okay.
But there's also a version where you go in and come out the same direction.
Right.
Kind of like the same.
Still called a Batwing, though?
No.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. I don't know what it's called. Is it a bow tie? Might be a bow tie.
I hope it's not called that.
No, I don't. It might be a bow tie. I can't remember. So Batwing is first half a corkscrew. Then you do half a loop.
Right.
Oh, no. So it's weird. Yeah. Okay, so it's like first half a corkscrew, a full loop, but you're starting at the top and going round and ending back up at the top.
Okay, I see what you mean.
And then the second half of the corkscrew.
Okay.
So it looks like it's two circular wings.
I see, right, okay. How rare is that then? Because that sounds weird.
So. A lot less than Cobra Rolls, but a lot more than Sea Serpents.
Right.
Smiler has all three.
Smiler has everything.
Has a Cobra Roll, Batwing, Sea Serpent Roll.
Wow.
So, and I think it's a bow tie, but correct me if I'm wrong. And that's where you complete the second half, but the corkscrew is facing the direction you came in. So instead of coming out the opposite way, you carry on and go the same way.
Okay.
Pretzel Loop, sure.
What's
so
that?
Pretzel Loop is an element that's specific to a certain type of roller coaster.
Get out, what?
Specific to flying coasters.
Oh.
Kind of, a bit like a Batwing.
Okay.
So imagine.
Does it look like a pretzel?
Imagine you got a loop. Yeah. Imagine you got a loop.
Right.
Right, and now you flip it so that the bottom is the top.
Okay.
Right, you've done that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Basically, that's it. So imagine you're in the flying position.
Oh.
You come up to the start, so you like swoop in and up to the top of the loop.
Yeah.
You complete off a loop.
Upside down.
So you start facing the ground. At the bottom of the loop, you're now facing up.
You loop up.
And
okay.
then you carry on and then exit.
That's weird.
Yeah, but usually it kind of like swoops in, completes it flat, so there's no left or right movement, and then once it's finished it then swoops back out.
Okay.
Which is where you get the pretzel look.
That's weird.
But yeah, only on flying coasters. You got a Norwegian Loop, which is kind of the same actually, but slightly different.
Okay.
So you go up to the top, same again. So you go. Helix has one of these. You go up. When you get to the top, you now rotate 180 degrees, so you're upside down.
Okay.
You complete a full loop, but starting at the top.
Right.
So you swoop round.
Yeah.
Then you're upside down again. You flip 180 degrees again, and then out you go.
Ooh.
So it's like
So like the same, but
a sit down version
different way,
of the pretzel loop. Yeah.
Did we do 0G roll?
0G roll? No, we haven't. So 0G roll.
Another roll for you.
Yeah. Well, it is
10 million roll.
So imagine an Airtime Hill. So you go in kind of up and over. Okay. So now imagine an Airtime Hill that as you go over the apex now rotates a full 360 degrees.
Oh, so it's like a roll but on a hill.
Yes, but it's heartlined.
Right.
So as you go through the top of the roll, your body is the center of rotation all the way through, and it's called 0G because you should feel weightless as you go through it.
Ooh.
So
that's weird.
But you'll often find that they take weird shapes because of that nature of trying to get it so that you're the center of rotation. So if you look at a normal heartline, it'll be much more of a kind of a hill. If you look at an inverted coaster's heartline, 0G, sorry, like on Nemesis over the station, it kind of goes up and then flat and then down again.
Right.
Because
you have to get it right.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because obviously you're a certain distance away from the track. So that flat bit is to accommodate how far away you are.
Right.
And then obviously you've got an airtime hill, literally just an airtime hill. So like a normal hill you go up and over. You've got different types. A weightlessness hill, which might be big and drawn out so that you feel weightless as you go over the top.
Like on a Giga.
Like on a hypercoaster.
Right.
And then you have what's called an ejector hill, which is a much more kind of rounded hill that just is aimed to throw you out your seat. Yeah. Again, on Helix has 2 of those where they're just the massive hills that kind of just yeet you out. And there's kind of been a whole new explosion of elements over the past like decade with RMC building their rides. They've taken elements and just completely like morphed them into different things.
Right.
So they've taken a 0G roll and made a 0G stall.
Oh my god.
Which is on Wildfire.
Okay.
So you complete the first half of 0G.
Yeah.
But then as you kind of... So you flip and you're upside down.
Yeah.
But then as you go over the crest of the hill, you're now upside down and you crest the hill completely upside down. And then you flip back.
I quite like that.
When we rode it on Wildfire, I expected it to feel awful.
Right.
But it's so good. Because it works... The forces work completely opposite.
Yeah.
So I expected to feel like you're falling out, but you don't at all.
No, because you're being pinned in.
Because you're being pinned in.
Yeah.
It's great. Love that.
Okay, let's start talking about our favourites, because I think for me, obviously Smiler's quite a good one to like think about elements on.
Yeah.
My favourite thing on a ride like the Smiler is when you're doing what you just said, where you're like upside down, but you're going over in a loop. Not a loop, but some kind of element where you're like upside down, coming downwards. How do you describe that?
Coming downwards.
Like what you just said. So you flipped over onto your back, so I'm here, and then you come down like that.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Okay. So a perfect example
so
of that
as you come out of some of those elements...
is also one of my favourites. It's called a dive loop.
A dive loop.
Which one of the things we actually have mentioned. Dive loop and Immelman. Okay? Two big names as well. One much better than the other, but they're both the same thing.
Okay.
Like essentially, kind of. So an Immelman came first, and there's different versions, but today most Immelmans saw the ride. So start at the bottom, complete half a loop.
Half a loop, yeah.
Then you're upside down, spin 180 degrees and exit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Immelman.
Right.
Dive loop, complete it the other way around. You go up, spin 180 degrees, complete the second half of the loop. So it's the same thing.
Coming down, upside down.
Coming down, upside down.
Yeah.
Which is what you were on about. Yeah. Because you're upside down and then you complete the second half of the loop.
Yeah.
Feels much better.
Yeah.
Rides much better. And if you're on quite a snappy coaster, like the Smiler, when you do that rotation before you go down, you kind of whip.
Yeah.
You whip and then you go down. Mm-hmm. On some of the other coasters, you don't really get that whip, but yeah. But that's why dive loops are much better than Immelmans. Yeah. So yeah, dive loop, one of my favourites.
Dive loop,
definitely.
yeah, probably one of my faves.
I'm a big fan of a slow Heartline Roll.
Oh, I don't know.
You feel that hang time, right? Which is probably something you don't like.
Yeah, like I
love it.
I'm a fan.
A little bit of it though.
Of a quick one.
Right. Okay.
I don't like it slow. Like the last one on Colossus, where you're hanging there for so long. I'm like, why is this the thing? Yeah. It hurts. Yeah. And it just feels horrible.
One of them. If there's one of them and it's slow, I love it. But as soon as there's more than one, then that's it. Don't like that.
I feel like in a restraint, like the Swarms restraint.
Oh yeah.
That kind of situation would be okay.
Yeah, you are held in. So it's different, right? On a normal over the shoulder, it's not very comfortable. No. On a lap bar, it's a bit more comfortable because your shoulders aren't taking the weight anymore. Yeah. It's more your kind of
your legs.
Yeah. So that's okay. What else? Yeah,
like on Icon, it's not too bad.
Yeah, Icons is good example.
Because that restraint's a good one.
Yeah. So you feel the hang time, but it's still comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know another favourite, but I do know a least favourite. Go on. A loop.
Boring, aren't they?
Boring, one. Painful, two.
Painful?
Just, like...
What do you mean?
Just, it's very intense, especially on things like Nemesis. That loop is just ridiculous.
Yeah, they can be intense.
It's just like, what? And Revolution and things like that. When the loop is like the centre of the coaster and they're trying to make a big deal out of it.
I see what you mean by painful.
And it hurts.
But you mean forceful.
Yeah.
They are forceful.
Intense.
Not all loops are intense, but the ones that we have in the UK, quite a lot of them are intense.
Is that the G-force?
Yeah, it's pushing you into your seat, right?
Yeah. Don't like that.
Positive G's. Yeah, Yeah, loops are a bit boring.
Loops are like way old now.
Well, they are, aren't they? They are.
Like that's the first things they tried to do, right?
Yeah, it was the first thing they did.
Can we stop now, please?
Which is why kind of like all the inversions now have taken the loop and done something with it.
Yeah, but what they've done is they've made the loop more comfortable and exciting. You know? Because the loop's very boring.
There's different types of loops as well now. There's an incline loop. Take the loop and put it to the side. Just take it and tilt it to the side. Oh. So the Swarm has one of those.
Does it? I didn't even know what these are.
Yeah.
Love that.
Boring though. Still boring. Yeah, loops are just a bit naff. It depends. Different companies have kind of tried to make them better. Like Mac have been making very circular loops.
I mean, it's a classic, but...
Because most loops aren't circular. They're like a teardrop. Mm-hmm. And that's to make sure that it isn't too forceful. That you don't die. Yeah. Whereas when you have a proper circular loop, either it's very intense at the bottom or the train goes through the top very slowly and you kind of hang.
Yeah.
I think most people's favourite's probably just going to be an Airtime Hill, honestly.
Some people said that. A lot of people like Pretzel Loops.
Yep, I haven't experienced a Pretzel Loop, sadly, so I can't say. Apparently they're very intense.
Right.
Because as you hit the bottom, you kind of, all of the force goes onto your chest.
Ooh.
And you're facing down, so... Very fast barrel roll, like you, Zoe. Love the laterals on those. Joel is a fan of rapid switchbacks on I-305.
Joel, we haven't talked about that.
Well,
why would you do this to us?
It's pretty much, he's just a fan of like a very quick rotation from one side to the other side.
Okay.
So it kind of completes one curve one way, flips, and then completes the other curve the other direction. So like a
snaky situation.
Yeah, he's a big fan of those. Those can be cool. Another shout out for Pretzel Loops by Screwy Loops there.
Nice.
Untamed has an uphill barrel roll. Big fan of that. Will says literally any airtime moment. Double downs and ups are pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
Do you know what a double up is or a double down?
No.
So double down or double up. Let's go. So you go up a hill and then you kind of go flat and then you do it again.
Ooh.
So it's like a step up, a step up.
Have I ever been on that?
Grand National has a double down, which is the same but down. So step down, step down.
Right. Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Grand National is awful, but they're pretty cool. People are big fans of just first drops. Love a big drop when it's very steep. Another shout out for Inline Twists from Lee. Sam is a fan of dive loops, indoor Heartline Rolls, Airtime Hills. Pretty much the same as me, honestly.
I'm quite shocked that everybody's responses were so different. Do you know what I mean? I thought there was going to be a clear winner of like, this is the one that everyone loves.
Yeah.
But no, I think it just, you know, everybody likes a different thing, which we say all the time, but...
Unlike you, Michael's a fan of the vertical loop, especially on Revolution.
Cannot do that.
Zach says X2's drop and first Raven turn combo. So
that sounds complicated.
X2 features a vertical drop, 90 degrees, and then it kind of completes this Immelman, but because the seats rotate at the same time, it's not really an Immelman.
Oh, I see.
It's a bit weird. So yeah, that's what we got. It is interesting, as I said, with every company is coming up with kind of like new inversions or new elements, and the naming scheme for elements is trash. It's completely garbage,
as we've learned today.
Because what happens is not only do manufacturers come up with stupid names, theme parks then come up with even stupider names. So, for example, whoever designed the Heartline Roll had the Heartline Roll, right?
Yeah.
Then Dorney Park built a roller coaster called Hydra, which has a Heartline Roll out of the station, and they decided to call it a JoJo Roll.
What?
So now any Heartline Roll that's immediately out of the station is called a JoJo Roll.
Oh.
When it's just a Heartline Roll...
Can I just say, do they patent these names?
I don't think you can patent names.
Are they protected?
Names. You can patent inversions.
But not the name?
Probably with the name. You patent it with the name. But it's more the inversion shape is the thing that you're interested in. But too many companies have kind of like done things. So.
But I guess you can call it whatever you want, like to yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can just make up a name, can't you?
Just going on the patent thing real fast. Mara Rides patented the Non-Inverting Loop.
What?
Which is you complete half a loop, but as you get to the top of the apex, you twist so that you don't invert. So you imagine going up and then twisting and then at the top you're now the right way up, and then you do it the same.
What is that? Why did they do that?
So they did that, and they patented it, so only they can do it.
Right.
So then Intamin went, okay, we're going to make the same thing, but make the shape really weird to get around this pattern. So instead of it looking like a loop, it looks more like that you've taken a loop, you've cut it in half, and then you've pushed the two sides apart. So you kind of do like a loop, and then like this really slow roll at the top.
Yeah.
And then the second half of a loop.
Ooh.
Kind of the same thing, but kind of different. So, yeah,
so there's some silly shenanigans going on.
Lots of silly shenanigans. And the worst offenders for terrible names is RMC, as I've said. With the latest thing is the double inverting, no, the 270 degree double inverting corner stall.
Yeah.
Right.
Good one.
Yeah. It's untamed. It's literally the most pointless name for an element. It's not even that different,
no,
really, to a normal kind of thing. So, yeah, there you go.